Okay, so we are recording. I should really stop peeking the mic. I keep on doing that, and I don't know why I do. I think it's just because I don't adjust it properly. So I wanted to respond to... Not really respond, because I don't think they explicitly sort of reached out, but I sort of wanted to talk about some stuff that Flaneur has uploaded and maybe interact, I guess the word would be. So yeah, there might be a few pauses in this video, so there might be a few awkward cutting sounds. Sorry about that. Similar to the one you just heard. Hope I got that right. Anyway, so yeah. I think the first thing that I wanted to talk about was the Dread video. But after thinking about it, the Magic and Mushrooms video is also something I want to properly respond to. Because I think both of them are connected, and yeah, maybe I'll just ramble about it. I might pause the recording as well to watch a bit to refresh my memory. When it comes to feeling as though, you know, you're an ape, you're this organism, this being that lives on this plane of torment. Don't know why I just said it like that. Torment. It can feel really scary, and I kind of understand what you mean. Because I've thought about this way, like, I can't. It's the morning. I'm not with it, but I've thought in a similar way and experienced the world in a similar way after I sort of got into a lot of psychedelics. The best way I can describe my psychedelic use is in a few short months I took a lot of mushrooms and a lot of acid, sometimes both of them at the same time, and I'm not bragging, I'm not trying to brag when I talk about my psychedelic use. I need to make that perfectly clear, because I think I was somewhat of an idiot for going about it this way. I genuinely think I did more shrooms and acid than a lot of people do in their lifetime during those few months. I did know somebody that did it a lot more than me, and he went like full, complete like Fabian case, like brain fried, completely off the rails. But yeah, so I have a lot of its experience in the tripping realm, and one thing I do notice about the tripping realm is that obviously it gives you this higher state of consciousness. You know, you can dive inside your own head and look around so easily. And you look at the environment, you see patterns that you didn't perceive before. Not just like in the visuals, but in the concepts as well. And I think that's one of the reasons why I have experienced the world in a similar way. Because I get very similar triggers where certain processes make me acute, like certain like stimuli and processes make me acutely aware that I am this emergent chemical machine. This like period of intensity on the surface of reality that cannot be like divorced from it. You know, I can't escape without losing myself. And yeah, I feel like there's a conflict between the hardwired biological drives and the intellectual mind. Oh god, sorry, I need to cough or something. Right, okay. Yeah, no, I kind of experienced it just then with my throat that has phlegm in it. So there's sort of this like intellect in my mind that is frustrated because the body is not doing as it's told. The body is susceptible to so much. Like, you know, it sweats, it bleeds, it shits, it pisses, you know, it gets ill, it gets broken. Whereas the mind is a lot more, I wouldn't say durable. Your mind can be incredibly fragile, or like strong as iron, but the mind's definitely more how do I put this? It's like, this is gonna sound really like Chinese philosopher like Lao Tzu. Oh my, sorry, I'm just gonna turn down the mic a little bit more. There we go. It's gonna sound very like Lao Tzu. You know, it's like the mind is like water, you know. It can either be ice or gas or liquid or somewhere in between. Yeah, its state can vary. You know, it can be stern and strong, or it can be very flexible and obscure. Sorry, this mic is driving me crazy. I don't know what's going on with it. But yeah. But the body is somewhat consistent. And it's out of your control. Completely out of your control. You think that, you know, your body won't betray you, and then it does. There's also this weird link between body and mind, where they both inform one another to varying degrees. But I think there is a lopsided relationship there, where things happening within your body can affect your mind disproportionately to what your mind can affect your body. Like, if you don't have enough nutrients or of like a certain vitamin, like vitamin D, you can get depressed, or your mind gets sluggish. Why am I rasping? Oh my god, that's better. You know, you can get sluggish, you can get depressed, but if your body is exhausted, you cannot will it to move. So we are sort of captors. Oh my god, this microphone, I'm getting really frustrated. We are captors in this thing. Or at least it feels that way. I mean, it can feel as though you are an ape on a rock, you know, and you're just existing in this place where exchanges of energy are happening all of the time, some of which threaten you, while a lot of which threaten you. Obviously, there's a problem with the word you, as there isn't really a you. The you is illusionary. But because of how hardwired you are in this state of reality, it's very hard to break away from that, because that means death, or like ego death, which, you know, all living organisms to some degree want to avoid. You know, I talk with men a lot about Buddhism, and well, not in super in depth, but enough to sort of get the gist of many concepts. And he was sort of repeating a phrase in one of his videos about like people transgressing against you. And or was he? I don't know. I can't remember. We were having a conversation or something. And it was some sort of phrase about somebody like attacking you or robbing you or hurting you. And how the wisdom was that you should let it go. Like, sort of just let it go, drift off and like move on with your life, because there's no point in hanging on to it. Now that's a very counterintuitive thing to think about, because like, how are you supposed to let that go, you know? They try to kill you, rob you, break you, you know, slander you or something. The you is illusionary, but that doesn't stop it from getting in the way. Like, sometimes, if I don't practice mindfulness, I sort of get frustrated at the circumstances I am under, at my body as well, because, how do you put it? It's hard. Because, God, this microphone is either really quiet or really loud. I think I need to like adjust the settings, but I can't be bothered. I'll just stop talking about it and it'll be fine. But yeah, like right now, I can feel my hair in my face and I'm like, I cannot will it to be away. I have to do something with it. You know, my mind cannot, unless I sort of divorce myself from the sensation. Sorry, I had to cough just there. unless I try and like divorce myself from the sensation, I like go into a deep state of meditation where all outside sensation fades away. You know, I cannot get rid of that without using my body. But the body is like this tool which is like inept at its own task. Because it's supposed to carry you through this world. It's a vessel for the mind to interact with the world. But it just causes suffering to the mind itself more than benefit. And I suppose that's probably what you're going through. You know, you're conscious of all of your bodily sensations. You're conscious that the people around you are just apes, that you are just a sort of being that exists on a planet full of other beings, and that safety is illusionary as well. Sorry, just a minute. Safety is illusionary. You know, with that bird that you had to mercy kill is just kind of an example of that. Like, acutely aware of the suffering. Like, I think what you did was like a moral thing, not amoral, as in a moral thing to do, you know, the right thing to do. Thinking about animals and thinking about people and how we suffer and die, all because we are in this sort of karmic washing machine of energy, you know, is distressing. Because, like, the illusionary you that emerges so that, you know, because, how do I explain it? It's so fucking hard to get out of my head and onto my vocal cords. So the you emerged from energy interacting with each other, and its main purpose is to, once again, perpetuate the karmic cycle of, you know, construction, maintenance, and deconstruction of forms along this surface of reality. And, you know, it's developed a very complex idea of self-preservation and what suffering is and what's what, you know, what deconstructs it, what maintains itself, and what leads to its augmentation. And, you know, it can seem really cruel. The world can seem really, really fucking cruel, because everywhere you look is things that you believe to be whole, things that you believe to be, you know, these indestructible, like, defined things being destroyed. And it can feel unstable, like, damn, that dead rabbit on the side of the road, you know, could be me one day. You know, my body's just gonna stop working, my mind will seep back into the deep, and it will rot. And all of the energy that was stored up in it will be dispersed back into the environment. Yeah, it can be horrible. What else is there to think about? Yeah, people won't understand this, by the way. Like, a lot of Normans, a lot of people who haven't done any sort of spiritual reflection or psychedelics won't understand because... Sorry, my voice is just really annoying me right now because I'm ill again. And I'm trying to talk normally, but I keep getting dragged down in pitch. And it's just really pissing me off, to be honest. I just want my body to, like, do as I say, but it's not. And, yeah. People won't understand this because they... It's very hard to come up with analogies because it's such a hard thing. They are immersed. It's like playing a video game, or like a game, like a board game, and for the duration of the game is your entire reality. There is nothing outside of it. And then you sort of break away and you realise it was all a fabrication. You know, these are not brave knights. These are lumps of wood moving across another lump of wood. You know, and that's kind of what people like Normans tend to go through. Except they are like fully invested. Like, they cannot take their mind away from the board. They cannot, like... I think there's another thing I've noticed about Normans is that, like, they struggle with abstraction. Like, I don't want to like be like, oh, the Normans, you know, they're all the same. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's like a very Norman mindset, and this is part of it, where Normans don't like to think about abstract ideals because it doesn't apply to reality, even though reality is a very thin band of what's going on around you. Reality in quotation marks, you know. What else? What else is there? When you sort of hid from the Normans in Magic and Mushrooms, I kind of felt that. Because, yeah, you're just walking alone, vibing, and then Normans come along, and now you can't exist as yourself, you know. But we've spoken about that before. A few of us have, I think, so... I apologise, I just had a sneezing fit, so, yeah. But no, yeah, you can't be yourself, really. And then you gotta hide. Like... It you know, it is just like that in public, and it sucks. You can't be alone for more than like a few minutes, maybe, if it's good weather, because then all the Normans are like, oh, we can go outside. It's like, never mind, let's keep on track. Hold on, I think you said something, but I want to check if you did say... When it comes to, like the thumbnail being catchy thing, God, this is so annoying. When it comes to the thumbnail being more catchy thing, and catching yourself falling into patterns, I think that's very much a part of this whole hyper, like, meta-awareness thing. Like, I don't know what you call it personally. But I tend to call it, like, the outer dark, where you are acutely aware of just how little of reality is actually being perceived by people. It's sort of like a campfire. Like, people who are immersed in the campfire, immersed in its warmth, are completely ignorant of anything apart from the light. And whereas people who are away from it tend to feel like the true coldness of the world. And it can be horrible. Realizing that you are susceptible to the same sort of, how do you put it? I would not say that you are narcissistic for making a more catchy video title and thumbnail. I would say that you, yeah, I think you said it, like, you're trying to game the system already. You know, it was a natural impulse because the human brain likes to game things. Likes to try and have, like, number go up. You know, I think that's why, like, billionaires can never get enough, because it just gets addicting. You know, and there is this, like, it's almost as though they are, like, obsessed with themselves so much that people suffer. Like, they siphon energy away from other people in order to augment themselves. And that's kind of like a sick raving ego, you know. And I think we all have those tendencies. Oh, a little fly has entered my room. Lovely. Is that a fruit fly? I didn't think so. I mean, there's no, like, food in here, so I don't know why it would be in here. Although I did just eat a cheese and sriracha mayo toasty, which is very nice. Anyway, apart from me rambling about the stuff you've said and giving my little bit of commentary on it, is there anything that I can say to you that may give you a new perspective? Let's see. I kind of had this in mind, and I don't know, this comes with a bunch of me saying things like, I don't know how old you are. Obviously I'm no mentor. You don't really have to listen to a word I say, honestly. But if I was just like one emergent chemical machine being to another, this is kind of what I would impart onto you. Nowadays, I've sort of learnt to view life, even in this, like, horrific meta-awareness, as a sort of strange comedy. Like a comedy of errors. There is this, I don't know, like, how I'd intellectualize what I'm saying. Because I used to do drama and performing arts, and in a comedy, in like a comedic play, or like in a comedic like film, like a rom-com, you'll notice that there is always a tragic moment. You know, something tragic happens. There is never just the laughs. You know, there's two sides of the face. There's the, you know, laughing till you cry and being sad till you cry. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to use my meta awareness, like my knowledge of the outer dark, as like a comedy. Maybe it's a black comedy or like a dark comedy, but like comedy nonetheless. I focus on the tragic things that happen in life that are completely unnecessary, that I have no control over, and I allow myself to feel those and experience the sadness or the anxiety to a certain degree. But there is this acknowledgement that the sun, sort of the heat of the sun, falls on you, and you can bask in its warmth. There are meadows that you can lay down and rest if need be. There are moments with another human being where you feel as though you are both one for even a moment. You know, there are these very beautiful, joyous things that happen. And there are also these terribly cruel things. And it is sort of a play, a sort of stage of trading energies, of like competing yin and yang, you know. And I don't know. I suppose you enjoy the rain quite a bit, as you've said. And I guess like something I would impart onto you is cultivation is key. Like, the body may be unreliable, and the mind may be, even with its awareness, it can still be affected. But there is a unique opportunity to cultivate your own sort of way of expression. You know, you are not a passive observer in the world. You are part of the world. You know, like I keep saying, the you is illusionary. You are the world is you. And you have this opportunity, this ability, you know, even though you think that things are out of control and this place is hell and, you know, everything's going to crush you, you could still pick up a stick and write something on a wall or some shit, you know. As the world pushes you, you must push on the world back. Even though you're both the same thing, and that doesn't really make sense. But I suppose you get what I mean. And maybe your YouTube channel is a way of doing that. You know, I mean, I relate to some of what you're talking about. And I know, I sort of saw a younger version of me within what you were saying. And I thought it was very powerful, even though you're just kind of talking to a camera. So, yeah, you've definitely made some kind of pushback. You've called out the world for what it's done, which is a lot more than a lot of people do. Like, to create, to expend your will and energy is something which could be regarded as a joyful moment because it's generative. It's not subtractive. A lot of people in your position may, you know, embrace the meta-awareness and embrace nihilism and decide that the only way to sustain the self or the you is to extract energy from other people. I've certainly known people like that, you know. I knew one very specific person like that, which I've already mentioned. But what you've done is a lot better, in my opinion, than that, you know. You're sort of making it so that people aren't alone. You're sort of giving, I guess. I really do apologise. This was supposed to be really thought out and professional, maybe. I don't know what you'd call it. But it isn't. I'm sort of just replying to you in an off-the-cuff kind of way. All I can really say is that I hope it doesn't, like, offend you that I didn't put in the utmost effort. Maybe I should have. Maybe I, you know, but I just wanted to, like, try and do it as authentically as possible, I guess. Sorry about that. I'm running out of steam. I don't really know what else to talk about. But if you've listened to this thus far, Flaneur, talking to you directly, I would say, if I come across as, like, being preachy, being annoying, like, where's your parents? Blah, 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 you know, that kind of shit. Where, like, an older person bitches. I do apologise. I really didn't mean to come across like that. Yeah. There was something else I was going to mention, which I don't know if I should mention it though, because like I just said just now, I'm not your dad or your older brother or, you know, your older sister or your older mother. you know. I don't have either a paternal role in guiding you, nor do I have a very maternal role in guidance. So, yeah. It's just awkward. Because, like, this is so very awkward knowing that I'm talking about somebody in particular for a prolonged period. Yeah, this is my first time really doing something like this. So, it'll be what it will be. And I'm like pausing a lot more than usual because I'm just thinking of what to say. I don't really think I have anything else to say, which is probably a bit disappointing. I guess that's it.